Alright, good night, and good night. Today I'm late. I know I'm late actually. I was busy doing some stuff. And so my whole day went in order to arranging stuff, doing something, stuff like that. And people were sending me messages, what happened to today's class? I thought, okay, let me share something at least to just keep the spirit high. And the thing which I'm going to be short and sweet is about camera metering. Like what exactly the camera meter and how it affects our exposure. So I just want to give you a quick demo about it, and I'll show you guys how camera meter affects the exposure and how we are going to use it for our purposes. This is my all-time favorite Nikon D700. Alright, and the lens is prime lens 85 1.8. Alright, I put this camera in portrait mode, and this is where you have to focus. We have three different metering mode: spot, matrix, and center weight. Okay, these are three different metering modes, and these three and one is additional. Canon got 4 modes, and now the new cameras, they are coming up with lots of great metering system, highlight metering, evaluated metering, and stuff, and different things. So basically how camera meters and how it affects the exposure, but we never know how the camera is basically affecting the exposure. If we change this metering from this setting to like spot, and then I have to switch to matrix and then switch to center weight. So which mode we have to select? Everybody says, oh, go to spot metering, and that's it, you are done. And my experience is this, that regardless whatever the exposure you do, whatever the mode you do, I always try to shoot in matrix metering, because I want camera to see the whole scene, and based on that, whatever the exposure meter exists, so it's supposed to be based on the whole scene rather than just this one. Because you see that spot, if I go over there, so what happens is wherever the focus point I'm going to move using this, wherever the focus point is going to be, camera meters on that focus point. So for example, I have this shelf, we have dark places, we have bright places, we have mix of bright and other stuff. So if I'm going to move focus point in all of these areas, which I'll show you in a minute, so it means that my camera exposure meter is going to change, which ultimately going to affect my shutter speed, my ISO, and my aperture, right? So if I go for this spot metering, but if I go for this matrix metering, there's a Nikon, it's called matrix, and I believe in Canon it have some other name. So it means that regardless of the frame, wherever my focus point is going to be, either here, wherever, the camera average out everything, the overall scene within the focus points, all the 51 focus points, and then it basically meters for average over there, not just dark, wide, wherever my focus point moves. Last, and this, if I switch to this point, it means that camera only averages the center part of the frame. That's it. It will forget about the rest of this area. Okay, it will not include into the calculation. I will show you exactly how it meters. It only averages the center part. Let's start with matrix metering. Okay, and I'll show you guys how it meters. Right now I am in Aperture Priority. Now why I am in Aperture Priority? Because Aperture Priority is the only way to show you guys how shutter speed going to be affected if once you change this metering. Only Aperture Priority can show that, right? I fixed my ISO, the base ISO, which is ISO 200 in D700, and you will see this thing going to change once I changing these things and also the focus point. All right. First off, let me show you in the viewfinder. Okay, this is my viewfinder. All right, as you can see, you see the focus points. So whatever I move my focus point, it's nothing happening. Okay, my aperture, you see, is somewhere averaging around 8. Okay, now look what happens. Wait, it's still averaging around my shutter speed to 1/8 of the second. Now look what happens once I change this to center weight. Look, watch this. Okay, it switched to 3, 1/3 of the second instead of 1/8 of the second. Let me go back. Wait, right now it's matrix and it's third. So by just changing this, my resultant shutter speed is changing. Why? Because initially when I was in matrix mode, I was basically averaging the whole scene within this focus point. Okay, the whole scene. But now I'm going to change as I have changed to center weight. So only this part is camera basically including the center. That's it. Camera is not including this. It's also not including this, the center, the corners area, as you can see, like these ones. It's not including into the metering. It only meters this center part. All right, now what happens if I switch back to the matrix meter? It goes back to this F8. Now the funny thing, how we are going to change once I switch to spot metering. This is where the fun begins. Now let me show you. Keep watching 1/3 of the second. Okay, now you see 4th, you see is changing the number 4 at the lower right. Just keep watching that. Okay, now I'm going to go down. It says low. It means that the exposure is so low that even 30 seconds of the exposure is not enough. It's still asking for more. Now look what happens. It goes to the bright side, which is the white area. See, white area, it's somewhere, this one is gray area, it's 5th of the second. This is white, it's like 30th of the second. The moment I go to the black, it goes black. It means that even 30-second exposure is not enough. That's why camera is saying that it's too low. Now look what happened. If I go up 2/50th of the second, see the brightness is basically where my focus point is landing, but this is causing my metering. So if it's a bright, so the camera meters to that point. If it's dark, camera meters to that point. See, did you just see? Look, if it's meter the bright part, it calculating the resultant shutter speed, and the moment I go to dark, it's changing the shutter speed accordingly. So the spot meter is basically tells that wherever your focus point is going to land, camera picks up that point, and whatever the luminosity over there it is, if it's dark, it means that camera going to drop the shutter speed, which you have just seen. It says LO, means low. Even 30-second exposure is not enough. It was so dark. And if it's in the bright area over there, if it's in the bright area, so it means that it's enough exposure that 1/4 of the second, 1/3 of the second, and stuff like that. But if moved to dark, 30 seconds exposure is not enough. But it's over there, bright part, it means that yeah, it's still enough exposure. So camera is basically metering each single point wherever you are moving in, if you are in spot meter, right? But if you are on matrix, so camera is averaging everything on average. It's regardless whatever, wherever your focus point is landing, over there, over there, over there, over there, it doesn't matter. So in this matrix meter, over there, right now, yeah, now it's in matrix. So it basically meters the whole scene wherever within the focus point range. Okay, and in this center weight, it only focusing the middle central part. That's it, which is around, I don't know, 13% of the frame, something like that. So that was a quick tutorial which I have shown you guys, that how the metering affects our exposure. And you can only experience, the more you are going to practice it with the exposure, play with the dark and bright areas like I did. I purposely chose this area in order to show you the dark part, the bright part, and the average exposure part. And wherever I'm moving the focus point, the the exposure was calculated on that focusing point only in the spot metering mode. But in the rest, it averages out total. So whenever you are choosing to shoot, okay, make sure that you know what you are doing. You know what kind of exposure you are going to take. I always choose matrix speeding because I want to choose the whole area. But there are certain points where you are forced to go with spot. Which point of time you have to choose is, like in D500, what I did, I always set my exposure metering mode to this. Okay, I always choose this, no matter what. But I did a certain shortcut. I chose this key in my D500 for spot. So what happens is, whenever I press this, I'm going to take the shot. Okay, so it basically, this shortcut, the camera meter system switch from matrix to spot only if I press this and take the shot. But if I'm not pressing this and only take the shot, the camera always check this matrix metering system. But if there are certain points where the birds are, mostly I use this in wildlife live, the birds are sitting in somewhere in the bushes on the tree where it's dark, and I'm not able to get the right exposure, and I have to keep my shutter speed 2000 or 1600, and I want to keep my aperture as wide as possible. So I don't know what kind of shutter speed I'm going to be. If it's going to be auto, which is mostly on auto, and I keep this thing engaged, so it means that it's going to be underexposed. The scene is probably going to be underexposed because if the birds are in the bushes. But if I move my focus point to the bird and press this and take the shot, so the camera going to meter the bird, not the whole scene. So in this way, I can expose the bird more precisely. So in this way, if you are shooting models, if you are shooting person, if you're shooting landscape, this thing doesn't matter much, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not an expert, but this is how I felt. Like in landscape, keep this thing to matrix, take the shot regardless wherever your focus point is. If you're shooting portrait, keep this thing in matrix metering, okay? Even if you are shooting strobe, it will expose for the strobe because you are taking the whole scene. So the shutter speed is going to define your background exposure, and your aperture is going to define your flash exposure. That's the matter of some other discussion, but I'm just telling you that. So I hope you like this video, this quick video about the camera metering system which I have just showed you. And I want you gentlemen and all the people, all the sisters and brothers, I want you to practice this exposure as much as you can by changing the settings, keeping some kind of layout in front of your camera which have both bright part and the dark part and the middle exposed part. And this way you will have quite a lot of learning about metering, how you are going to take this shot. Alright, let me show you. I just have a request that please Lord take some shots. Okay, let's try and take some shots. Alright, I am in matrix mode. Okay, I am in matrix mode, and what I am getting, this is what I am getting. Okay, ISO 200, 1.8 aperture, and shutter speed is 1/8 of the second. Let's take a shot. Regardless, because I am in matrix, okay, so I am reading the whole scene, so it doesn't matter where I'm going to put this shutter, this focus point, it doesn't matter. Okay, wait, oh shit, I am in live view mode. Alright, crap, sorry, I was in live view, so camera went on live view. Alright, okay. Okay, yep. So I am taking exposure. Look, simple, right? In matrix, this was the exposure. Alright, fine. Now look what happened if I switch to spot metering. Alright, let's go spot. It says low. It even cannot lock the focus. Okay, so I have to first lock the focus. Okay, then I have to switch the camera focus system to manual so it doesn't hunt. Wait. Okay, so I'm locking it. Wait a second, because I just keep going to hunt the focus. Wait, lock the focus. The focus is locked. Alright. Okay, now it's done. Now it's not going to hunt. Alright, I'm taking the exposure. It keeps saying, wait, no, okay. Over here, spot metering, and I put the focus purposely in the dark side. It says low, taking the shot. You see, this was a spot metering. This is with matrix meter. Spot metering, matrix meter, spot metering, matrix metering. You see this? This is why I always try to choose matrix metering. Now let's go and switch to the center weight and let's see. I'm not going to, let's say I'm choosing the top part. I'm exposing for this area. Okay. This thing is still bright. This thing is still bright. You see, it's way overexposed. And this is the matrix, the center one. The center one. This image was taken in matrix metering. Let me show you exactly. Wait. Look at this. It shows matrix meter. Now focus on this part. See, it's spot. It's overexposed. It's spot. And this one, center weight. And look at this. Even the histogram is going to tell you how overexposed or how underexposed or how correctly expose your image. Focus over here and over here. Center weight. This is spot. You see the histogram shifted to the more white area. This is center weight. This is spot. And this is matrix. Even the histogram is shifted on the middle area. So this is how your exposure is affected by changing these three things. Really? I mean, seriously. So I suggest you guys to go and practice as much as you can. So you will got to learn a lot. All keep this kind of setup where you are having dark areas, bright areas, and some mediumly exposed areas. Shoot whatever you can in this quarantine time. And I trust me, right now is the best time for you gentlemen and ladies to learn as much as you can about your camera settings, and about the photography. Do the experiments as much as you can. You will learn a lot. I hope you love this video. I had no plan to make it, but I received like 3-4 messages since evening when we are going to have the class for today. I thought, okay, even though I'm having a headache, but that's fine. I thought, let me go some quick and do something. And thanks to Suresh actually, who basically asked to take the shot in order to give you the real time, demo to get things learned. Thank you, Suresh, for asking me this question to do some clicking, because people, I believe, once they saw the real time effect of the on the images by changing these metering modes, so they can see what meter they have to choose in order to take the shot. Alright, take care you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or day after. I don't know. Thank you very much. Take care. Stay safe. Stay home. Bye. By the way, we all know we love photography, right? But if you won't be there in the world, then there will be no photographer. There will be no photography. So we all want you guys to stay safe. And even I was never thought in my life that I will be staying in home and for all these times without going out. But even I'm working from home, but the world needs humanity. And there are lots of stuff going on Facebook about how we are going to be affected once there will be no human in the world. And trust me, it's going to be a chaos. Animals already start ruling the earth. Anyways, I don't want to make you sad. This video was about camera metering. That's it. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and bye.